Okay, well, I'm actually at the very same spot where I tested this bike for the very first time last October when I bought the bike. It's now August, that's 10 months on, but my very first video was first impressions of the bike. Well, to date I've done just over 1100 miles, which isn't a lot in 10 months. Partly because of the weather and partly because I'm a very busy guy and I'm a bit of a dry weather biker. But also, this is my first vlog as such. I don't really know what the word means other than I've got one of these action cams. It's a Drift Ghost stuck to my helmet, and I've got an amazing remote control here. I don't know whether you can see it. I'm getting steamed up already. When I rode up from my home to this particular place to start off again, the wind noise was really horrendous through my helmet, so when I'm actually on the bike I can hardly hear myself speak. But I'm going to give this a go. I hope I don't sound too boring. I'm not one of these quick talking youngsters, and nor am I probably as fast as these youngsters on bikes today, but this little 400cc beauty suits me fine. I've had all sorts of bikes. I'm just going to take it a little trip up the road. I've checked that my tyres are okay. I've checked that the chain is tight enough. You know, the basic safety checks on the bike. We've got over half a tank of fuel. Adjust the mirrors. The mirrors aren't very good. One of the few criticisms I've got of this bike. So let's see how we get on. What a weird experience. What I must remember to do is concentrate on my riding more so than what I'm saying. So I may have to edit this later. They say blokes can't multitask. Well, I do. As you can see from my YouTube channel, I do various things, woodwork, furniture making, design. I used to review and test tools for a woodworking magazine, and I have a passion for motorbikes. Got a Cappy Racer, Bonneville 750. Well, it's very windy, blustery today, but it's, despite being a really light bike, it's really quite stable. Oh, I've got to watch these cyclists ahead. You know, got to watch that they don't go two abreast. Yeah, I was right, there were two of them. Fortunately, my vision is pretty good, despite the fact I wear glasses. But it's all about vision and reactions. But this is a great bike, the RC390, single cylinder, 43 brake horsepower. I think it's about 373 cc. A nice throb to it. Top speed probably about 110. Cruise comfortably at 80. I'm travelling along the Bristol-London road east. I think a little way along is the Castle Combe race circuit. But what is there to say about this bike? I've had a few problems with it stalling, but the dealer, after quite a lot of hassle from myself and KTM, got them to sort that out. The battery packed up. It's only, 10 months old, and of course with the flat battery it just wouldn't start. Had to bump start it once in the middle of town. Wasn't much fun. This isn't the best road I've chosen. Lots of patches on it. You've got to watch that you don't furrow along those. So you've got to keep your eyes skinned at all times. I suppose I'm a bit twitchy because it is a new bike and it's got a 2-year warranty, so I want it sorted now if there's any niggling little problems. I feel nervous on tickover, you know, at traffic. Keep on thinking it's going to cut out. Of course, the tachometer as such, this bar that runs along the top of the display, is pretty useless. The numbers are far too small, so I just have to listen to the engine sound. But I haven't taken it much over 9,000, didn't take it over 7,000 for the first 600. Mirrors are terrible. I mean, you just can't see much of what's going on behind. I have to lift my arms up. I mentioned this in my other reviews. But I mean, it's a great bike to ride, great for the open road, loves bending around the corners. Got a nice throb to it, plenty of power and plenty of acceleration when you need it. The only aches and pains I get at my ripe old age are actually in my hands and around my thumbs on the inside of my palms, where I guess my weight is you know, down on the handlebar. I don't get backache. I'm really lucky. I don't think you should ride a bike, you know, especially a bike like this, if you suffer backache. You can get that at any age. I'm about 5'10", a little bit overweight, 13.5 stone. I'd say it's a bike for all sorts of you know, body types and heights, but you wouldn't want to be much less than 5'5" or 5'6", because, you know, standing astride the bike, your feet wouldn't touch the ground. It's quite highly slung, so to speak. I mean, I guess the purpose of this vlog is to share my experience about the bike as I'm riding, obviously. I mean, I normally script my videos. I mean, to be honest, I would have probably bought the R3, the Yamaha R3, but it hadn't come out when I bought this bike, and I got a bit impatient. Well, I'm probably going to pull in here. This is where I met up with young Brad, who had a KTM as well, and by chance I met him on the road a couple of times, so I'm just going to pull in here. Just turn that back on again. Take my glove off. Not the best gloves. Don't be critical now. Yeah, the rev counter is pretty naff. You can't really see how many revs you're doing, so you've just got to go off listening. Fuel tank is appallingly small capacity, so you've got to stretch your legs, you know, in 100 miles, because you've got to fill your tank up. A lot of this stuff I still haven't sorted out how to work out. I'm just using the trip. I've done oh, I think I've done 1,200 miles. Oh, it said 1,100 only down the road. What else is there? It's a great bike. I mean, I mean, being a craftsman and a designer, and I've kind of manipulated wood, metal, plastics, I have this worry about the quality of the steel and, you know, whether it will last. And all I can really go on is the fact that KTM have been knocking around a while, and this is based on the Duke 390. But also, it's pretty obvious they're anxious to push their brand, you know, right up amongst the top players. So, and I know those guys in India work really hard to build these things, and I feel a bit guilty that here I am in the UK and I didn't have to wait to buy it, whereas you know, I think there were 2 in the showroom, and I just bought it. I was so lucky, whereas in India and maybe other parts of the world there's a bit of a waiting list. Oh, look at my shadow. Haha. Hello, we are doing a vlog today. Yes, and I've no idea how it will come out. So what else is there? Probably when I edit this or put it on my computer, I'll say, oh shucks, I've missed out something really important. I mean, look at the craftsmanship. It's beautifully crafted and nice detail, you know, this kind of powder finish on this. Black isn't my favourite colour because it often looks great in the showroom but tacky after a while. But this bike is coming up for a year old. Only just beginning to run it in. I haven't taken it much above 9,000 RPM. I kept it under 7,000 for the run-in for the first 600 miles. So I'm still easing it up gradually. Lovely fat tyres. Look at that number plate. World Boxing Organization, WBO. Don't mess with me in a car park and knock me over. Please. Look at that. I mean, it's real sculpture. And I love the way this little exhaust comes out of the side. Yeah, it's true that, you know, when you buy a car or a motorbike, you go off the looks. You know, when I was young, I went out with all the prettiest girls in town. But it's also a compact, functional little beast. It's fit for purpose. Let's turn that off. Lovely bike. And I assume I'm still recording, but that's probably it. So if you've, I've no idea how long this vlog is, but if you've viewed up till now, then thanks for hanging in there. I hope I've shared some of the magic of this little KTM 390 RC. Thanks for watching.